Hello everybody, and welcome to another video of Rants and Yarn with two best friends. And today we're actually together in town. Like I told you in my last video. I said we would try to make a video, and we made it happen. So here we are together doing our video. And who knows when we'll do another one, maybe when she comes back to go to Comic-Con, I guess. Unless she has to come back into town for some reason. But anyway, we are both in town and doing the video together. One of the few that we will be doing together like this. Sorry to say, but
we do what we can.
But we do what we can, yes. And in today's news, I haven't heard anything yet, but as of late, I think there's still the government shutdown going on, and hopefully they can come to a resolution with that, so all the 37K people that need to go back to work can go back to work. And my heart goes out to the people, all the tsunami victims in Indonesia, and all the people who didn't get to have a Christmas because of it. My heart goes out to you, and may you be able to rebuild and mourn the loss of your loved ones, and hopefully that the new year will bring you some peace. And for everyone who celebrated Christmas here, hopefully all the fire victims had an okay Christmas and that they're able to start and rebuild their lives as well. And today for you, the topic we have, the article we have for you today is the over-celebration of life events. And in my opinion, there are people who just celebrate almost anything and everything, and they go all out. They're like, oh, you have to celebrate your half birthday, and then your full birthday, and then stuff like that, or every little holiday that there is, people decorate their house for it and stuff like that. And each to their own if they want to celebrate. Then the people who make stuff for those holidays don't make money.
There does come a time though that, you know, once everything is special, then nothing is special because it's all the same. Which is why I'm interested in this article. What do they think?
Gender reveals, post-wedding receptions, divorce parties, promposals. Young Americans now have more and more public festivities for milestones that used to be privately celebrated. Like, okay, gender reveal, I understand. Not everybody does it, but most people, they like to have like cupcakes with like the filling inside to be of a different color, and then you bite into it and you see what it is. You invite a few friends, and you invite the people who you invited to your wedding, you invite people, and you do the celebration of people finding out what gender you have. But some people, they just combine that with their what do you call that?
Baby shower?
Yeah. Some people just combine that with their baby shower, or they do it separately, like the moment. Because normally you can find out the gender of your kid like at 3 months, I think, 3 or 4 months. At the gender of your kid, you can find it like soon. As soon as they can see the body of your kid, then it's easy to find the gender. Yeah, even if you get them, even if, heaven forbid, you have a miscarriage or something, I like 2 or 3 months, when you can already see the body forming, they can already tell you the gender. Sometimes there's only a 5% chance where doctors make mistakes on the gender, but for the most part, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I mean, it's an ultrasound and it's a grainy image until we've got, like, I'm sure the tech will advance enough that you can get a very clear image at 2 and 3 months, and then by then they'll be, probably DNA testing it earlier.
And post-wedding receptions, I mean, you already have a reception after the wedding. I don't know what the post is all about for people who weren't able to make it, or, oops, I forgot to invite someone. Okay, let's have another party with all those people. I don't really know what that's all about.
Yeah, it's why you miss it. Sorry, be invited to the baby's birthday or something, birthday parties.
Divorce parties. Well, I know you're excited that you got divorced because the marriage was not how it was supposed to be. I get that, but you celebrate quietly with your immediate family and your best friend, maybe, and maybe extended family come over. But I mean, I don't see why people would celebrate that kind of stuff.
Yeah, a divorce is...
I mean, you might be happy that it's over, but isn't that supposed to be a quiet time just to...
Yeah, that's a...
People who are there backing you up on the divorce, okay, you guys go quietly and have a drink because you're single now, you can go back and party.
Yeah, if you're celebrating a divorce, then either you had a really crappy situation or you didn't take the marriage seriously in the first place. And, if divorce is not something to celebrate like that, in any case. If you're celebrating because, yay, great, I'm not stuck with this person anymore, and the other person is also celebrating, then you shouldn't have.
Well, you can celebrate if they were bad to you, then you celebrate the fact that... But I mean, normally you just go out to
party over that.
Normally you just go out to drinks with your friends and celebrate the fact that you're single again and looking for the next guy to...
Well,
next guy.
Don't forget to take the time to heal, though. Whatever it is that you're breaking off, you need the time to heal because... And
promposals are nice because I've seen lots of videos about it, but that should just be the extent of it, because it should just be nice to be able to make it to prom and to get whomever you wanted to go to prom with you. That, if you want to video it, but I don't think you should do anything more about it.
Yeah.
You want to remember the occasion of who proposed to you to go to prom with.
It's not a truly significant event, Maybe it's the biggest dance of your high school career, but it's not that significant of an event in a life. For most people, obviously, there's always exceptions to every rule, but it's...
Well, like all proposals of any sort, people make a video of it, but that's about it. They don't, do parties for each one of them.
Yeah.
And here we have a picture of an extensive lavish cake, because not all parties come with some sort of dessert or cake, And I'll be posting this picture for you to see, probably in the thumbnail. Earlier this week, news outlets published the results of a public record investigation into what caused a massive wildfire in Arizona's Santa Rita foothills last year. The video footage procured by Arizona's Daily Star reporters confirms that those who'd been following the case feared. The blaze began with a giant eruption of blue powder. Oh yes, I remember this story. Because it was talked on in another YouTube channel talked about this in Just Kidding News, and they mentioned that this guy. Oh, we're gonna talk about it further, but I'm gonna tell you my story of it. And there was this guy. He was, I don't know why he used an explosive, or I don't know why he used something that would explode and cause, damage, but he did, and he was supposed to, poofed the blue powder, but something went wrong and it caused a massive wildfire over there. And I'm not sure if they made him pay, but the fact is, yay for the baby gender reveal, but now look, he caused a massive fire and the whole forest is in ruins.
Yeah, congratulations, your baby's the cause of the destruction. Don't tell him that, though.
A U.S. Border Patrol agent and then expecting father was attempting to create a spectacle out of the revelation of his baby-to-be's gender. So he shot a rifle into a target filled with an explosive combination of oxidizers and fuel. See, the fuel was the one that caused the fire. As one journalist put it, the plan was doomed from the start. The area had been experiencing less than average rainfall and usually high winds. Upon exploding into a plume of cerulean-colored smoke, it was a boy. The target set off a blaze that ravaged the surrounding mesquite trees and yellow grassland. The man's gender reveal party ended up burning 47,000 acres of parched state land and cost $8.2 million to extinguish.
Yay!
So there you have it. It's nice to have a party, but when fuel and forestry is involved, all caution is necessary. Well, why can't you just explode regular confetti like everyone else? Or just bake a cake and slice into it and find out what it is, you know? Do something
less dangerous.
Do something you can do something on a grand scale, but less, you know. Yeah. While this man and other parents-to-be have approached lethal extremes in pursuit of a legendary gender reveal for their unborn baby, you can also check out another story about the Louisiana couple who recruited a 10-foot alligator named Sally to help them divulge a surprise. We're not going to talk about it here, but you can look up that story on your own time if you want, and I'll try to find the link and link it down below so you guys can read it. But in hindsight, they got an alligator for their party, and of course, I don't know if the couple was the one in charge of the alligator or they had a handler, but obviously it went out of hand and the alligator probably went wild for the most part, because I don't think if you had hired a handler, I don't think that they would have allowed for it to go to such extremes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Most participants in the gender reveal trend have more manageable celebrations. Take the 20-year-old Julianne Mladineo, just a few months into her first pregnancy. Mladineo was convinced she was having a girl. She and her 21-year-old boyfriend had initially decided to hold off on learning the baby's sex until birth. And the mystery made the already special pregnancy process extremely exciting, Mladineo says. But some of their relatives already knew the baby's sex. Her sister had found out early on when she accompanied Mladineo to the hospital for the gender-revealing ultrasound, and she spilled the beans to a few family members.
Oh.
They kept teasing Mladineo and her boyfriend. Eventually, the couple just couldn't resist any longer. They gave in to their relatives and to another pressure as well. The temptation to leverage all the mystery and surrounding hype and funnel it into a party. And I mean, if they want to, you need to respect when people don't want to know until the birth. Because some people are just like that. And you need to respect them. You shouldn't force them to have a party because that's what we do nowadays. Just have parties left and right, you know? And if you have the money for it, go ahead, but in my opinion, it has to be for the right reason because the person wants it.
Yep. And again, if you party for everything, then nothing. What is actually special?
Ladino, who first learned about gender reveal parties about a year ago, had noticed that many of her San Pedro, California peers were having them, with a lot of them broadcasting footage of the spectacle on Facebook or Instagram. So,
there's a thing. Go ahead. You have anything to say about that one?
go ahead.
Okay. So, first of all, parties they're exclusive. You invite the people that you want to share in the thing that you're celebrating. When you're broadcasting it, who do you think you are? What makes your party worth broadcasting to everybody? You know, if family can't make it, then you send them pictures, you send them videos.
Well, maybe they want to monetize off of it or get other people to see it.
Yeah, but see, then that's not the point of a party. You want to impress other people instead of enjoying the event that you're celebrating.
That's right. And for me, the only reason why I want a baby shower is because I need all the baby stuff and people can bring it over for me. And that will take me out of the hassle of spending all my money to buy all of those because it's expensive for a baby. The only reason I didn't have bachelorette, I did have a bachelorette, but the only thing I didn't have as a wedding shower was because I didn't need any gifts, and my mom was already spending enough money on my wedding, so I didn't need an extra party for that. I mean, if I was a person who was starting from scratch in a new home and stuff, yeah, I would need everything, and I wouldn't mind people just gifting me everything for my house and kitchen and whatnot, you know? So that is a good reason to have those kinds of parties, like wedding showers and baby showers. Because you need help with all these things, especially when you're, you know, when you need a lot of stuff. Because all you do is just pay for the food that you're going to feed everyone, and then everyone else pitches in with decorating and bringing drinks and whatnot. Or you can make it potluck and then people bring whatever, like we're doing for our after Christmas party. We're going to decorate a little bit in the hall, and then everyone's going to just bring food and have fun for like an hour or two, you know?
Yeah, this family, they're friends, they're people who want to help, and they're people that you want to appreciate, again, the event that you're celebrating. And they're going to help you out.
So when the temptation grew unbearable, Ladino and her boyfriend decided that they, too, would trade in their thrilling mystery for an opportunity to partake in the fun. They invited around 60 of their friends and family members over to her parents' backyard. Guests, minus those who already knew, marked their prediction for the baby's sex on a chalkboard or on Polaroid pictures they'd taken of themselves and hung on a rope, all while snacking on color-coded cupcakes and chocolate cigars. At the end, chocolate cigars! That would be cool if you had a cigar and it would puff the actual colored smoke that reveals the gender. I don't know how you can... you can do that with vapors, but you can't do that with an actual cigar.
I would do a candle instead, so you know, maybe a cigar-shaped candle or something. Yeah, you have to actually smoke that.
But yeah. At the end, they set off confetti poppers, which to Ladino's surprise rained down blue scraps of paper into the guests. In February, Ladino can expect to give birth to a baby boy. But this isn't the last time the couple will celebrate the baby. Ladino plans to have a shower, too. And of course, you want a baby shower because people will bring you gifts. Because normally for gender reveals, they don't really bring anything. Gender reveals, you don't really bring any gifts. You just bring yourself. And you just bring yourself, and if they ask you to bring something for the party itself. For American 20 and 30-something who are in the thick of a milestone-heavy phase of early adulthood, it has become common to have multiple celebratory events to honor landmarks such as births and weddings.
Traditional. Yeah.
A busy wedding season calendar for a young adult in 2018 is often peppered with commitments. Well, yeah, they have also engagement parties when you're more well-to-do. So then you tell everyone you got engaged, and make sure, well, traditional families, they do engagement parties so that each party knows that they're both getting married, and that's when they do all the preparations, because sometimes they have traditions, and then that's when it's all laid out at these gatherings, at these engagement parties, like say the bride side of the family and the groom side of the family. That's when they do all that setup. Now in traditional American style, there's just engagement parties sometimes, just to be happy that you guys are engaged. But if it's tradition, then that's when you talk about all the odds and ends of integrating families, like all these different situations, like with dowries and how family dynamics is going to play out and stuff like that. But not just the wedding themselves, but a marathon of additional parties that sandwich the ceremony. At its most extreme, that marathon may be an indulgent prefix menu whose dishes include, say, a ritzy engagement party, bachelorette weekend in Las Vegas and Nashville, a bridal party lunch, a rehearsal dinner, and a pre-wedding bar night, and an after-wedding couple shower, in addition, of course, to the wedding and the reception.
That's a big amount of debt to incur over a wedding.
Yeah. And for me, I understand how the bridal shower what the bridal shower is all about, and the wedding and the reception, and the bachelorette parties to celebrate your last time being single, where you can do all that stuff. Because I had one, but mine was like PG, just wine tasting and a nice dinner. I didn't do much else besides that. But some people, they take it to the max extreme with strippers and with strippers and renting, like my husband did. His best man rented him a limo, and they went to a strip club, and he got a nice lap dance. But bachelorette parties, I understand, and bridal shower, because the bridal shower is more sophisticated for the older people who are not going to go with you to the bachelorette party, and then they can bring you gifts, and then at the wedding itself, then they can give you a lesser gift if they want to give you more of a gift at the shower, because it's not implied they have to give something at both or a lot, whatever, But yeah, we also had a rehearsal dinner, bachelorette party, and a wedding and reception. But that was the extent. But people like to say, "Oh, it's my last night being single, so I want to, make it count."
But then, if you're going to go and celebrate a divorce, why would you bother having a party to celebrate your last night being single?
Well, you don't know you're going to have a divorce in the beginning. What if they're bad? What if they're bad to you, or what if they ruin you financially, or you don't know what. So, but people normally celebrate with their friends or family, and they just go out to eat and drink and go to a bar looking for a new hookup. But to make it a big deal where you invite like a ton of people, that's just because you want a reason to have a party.
Too much peopling for me. My parties, if I have parties, they're going to be real small.
Lavish weddings had become trendy in the United States by the 1990s, according to Beth Montemurro, a sociology professor at Penn State University in Abington and the author of the 2006 book, Something Old, Something Bold. And this shift instigated a sort of celebratory creep, not only stretching traditional celebrations like weddings and births into multiple events, but inspiring celebrations of life events historically passed without much fanfare, like things like divorces, job departures, pets, holiday birthdays, and asking someone to prom, now known as promposal. So we already touched on the whole divorce thing. It's just for you to celebrate and maybe have some friends, go out for drinks and find someone else, find new men to go to hang out with. And job departure, normally your office mates will get a cake or have a little potluck in the break room for you to say goodbye to you, because however many years you spent there, you guys all bonded over work, and now they're sad to see you go, and then they make a nice party for you.
Yeah, a little gesture. It doesn't have to be a massive. I mean, depending on whatever kind of environment
when I left my work, I wasn't there for that long, so nobody really did anything to me because there was nothing to be done. I just said I felt it was time for me to leave because of the circumstances, and I got a nice parting card I got a nice parting card because of it, and that was that, and I was happy that all the residents loved me enough to send me well wishes with a card. I still have it tucked away somewhere.
Yep.
And for pets, yes, people if they don't have any kids, they will make parties for every birthday of their pet, and just invite family and a couple of friends and have a doggy cake. And I don't mind that. Like on Christmas, you get a present for the dog too. Like I did for my husband's brother's dog, whom he shares with his dad. I bought him treats. I put him back in the car after he ate like so many of them. We literally almost finished it off. But yeah.
Yeah, pet party.
So we integrated him into the Christmas celebration. Well, I did.
Yeah, but pets don't understand what's going on. They just think, ooh, extra food. I like the food. And, whatever you're celebrating with them. But they don't know.
You don't know. Some dogs may be smart and understand what's going on.
They don't give a crap about birthday. They're excited because the people are excited. And so a pet birthday party is only for the people.
I think of dogs as being smart.
They are smart, but they don't have that kind of, they don't have that concept of time.
Because I've seen that pet video that they made recently, and the pets come to life and stuff. So I believe that they do.
They're absolutely smart. They can understand a lot of words, but they don't have the concept of birthday, and time and annual celebrations of, maybe they'll remember that, from year to year that a certain amount of activity happens, but they're not going to understand why. So that's why I think pet birthday parties are strictly for
because if you don't have any kids of your own, you like to celebrate pets' birthday. And even if you have kids of your own, you still like to celebrate something for your pets, which is nice. It makes more money for those who make pet treats and extra money to the pet stores.
Consumerism.
And we already touched on the promposal. It's already a party enough for prom if it's nicely done in a way you're happy with. Because when I went to prom, I wasn't totally stoked with whom I went to. I see him from time to time because he's the nephew of one of my godmothers. So yeah, but in hindsight, I can't say that I was happy to at least have a date. Just put it that way. But it could have been different. We could have had it in a different location. It could have been totally 100% all done differently. But nobody wanted it in a hotel, and we couldn't have enough money to have it in an even bougier place. So we had it in the hall of the Tech Museum. And it was okay. While data on the popularity of these parties are hard to come by, scholars and industry experts tend to agree that these newfangled celebrations are on the rise. And online, Reddit forums and Pinterest boards offer prospective hosts a seemingly endless array of suggestions for activities and decorations for all manner of celebrations, from postpartum parties to post-wedding showers. Many of these hyper-specific themed decorations can be found on Amazon or at Walmart and Party City, which due to growing demand now dedicates 8 feet of shelf space to gender reveal products in its brick and mortar stores.
Wow. Okay, so it's then it's straight up consumerism. They're just trying to sell. It's not that you need to or even that you want to. It's that you're being sold that you should be. Okay.
So we're saying that. So yeah, I agree with that. But another thing I saw that was interesting is postpartum parties. So you're celebrating that you're no longer in depression, or you didn't get depression from I
think it's just the baby's out now, so it's not just a birthday now. There's also that the baby's out.
Well, you celebrate the birth of your kid, like if you're religious, when they get baptized, and yeah, you can have a party when the baby's born, but I mean, it's really just many ways to have another party.
Yeah.
And yeah, I found a lot of things on Pinterest because I have that, and they do have lots of different ideas, especially for weddings and different parties. And it's fun when you're trying to plan a party. Businesses are seeing a need and filling it. Take for example the story of Danielle, who a few years ago co-founded an online divorce party supply store with her then newly divorced sister. Sometimes a separation of marriage just as much celebration as a union, they'd agreed, yet the internet was devoid of ideas or suppliers for such parties. Today, divorcees can turn to the sister's store, the Unknotted, for their party needs, including ex-wifey t-shirts, unbridled sashes, and I don't care cake toppers. And yeah, if people want to celebrate because they had a crappy marriage and it didn't work out, and some people, they don't want to celebrate because they're sad that it didn't work out, or maybe they just got married when they were too young, and you know, if you get married when you're too young, it's like, oh, it didn't work out, well, oops, you don't want to talk about it anymore. And most people, they don't want to talk about why, let alone why are they going to celebrate being single. They're just quietly looking for the next person, and then they're going to celebrate another wedding, you know?
Hopefully they will, get it right, as right as things can get.
But I guess some people who are divorced get excited about it because it's a fresh new start in life, so they celebrate, have a party, and move on to the next chapter of their life. All in all, these trends signal a push toward public celebrations of things that used to be more privately or intimately celebrated, says Carly Giesler, a professor of communications at the State University of New York, who authored a 2017 study examining the social forces behind the impact of gender reveal parties. Echoing other industry observers, Geisler concluded that gender reveal parties have surged in popularity since the late 2000s, when her analysis found the first video of a gender reveal party was posted on YouTube. Since then, these events have gotten just more and more over the top. I've seen some gender reveals, they don't show the whole party, but they show the part where the gender reveal happens, or when people are like preparing for it, making cupcakes and cakes and stuff like that for the party itself. And that's the fun part, and especially gives money to the cake maker, or the pastry makers, and the people selling all the supplies for the wonderful party, But people nowadays, they just find ways to make money and make products that people will actually buy that they can sell,
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they start it because they can't find anything for themselves when they want it. The biggest factor, according to Geisler's analysis, is social media. It's on those platforms that experts, expecting parents, not only offer ideas but market products to achieve the ideal image of the celebration. Geisler writes, ideas and marketing that in turn proliferate across those same virtual networks, giving legs to the trend and gaining advertising capital as sources. Baby Center's most recent annual trends report found that 40% of the moms to be surveyed by the advice website had a gender reveal party or announcement this year. A figure up 30% from that in 2017, nearly double that in 2016, according to the website's spokeswoman. And in my opinion, yes, if you have the money or you just have people interested, you will make a party for lots of things. But for me, I probably would just tell some people what it's going to be, and I'll be like, okay, we'll celebrate that at the same time on the baby shower, and thank you everyone for whatever you'll be able to give me when the day comes. But I am pregnant. But, I mean, you know, maybe it's because these people, yeah, they have the money, but at the same time, it's just, they like the attention and they like the idea of these parties, and there are people interested in coming and being a part of it. Because if you're going to make a party and then people are just going to be like, oh, they're just dragged to come or nobody shows up, then it's a bust, you know? Because not everybody's like, oh, let's go to a party. I only go to party. I like going to parties because I hardly ever get invited to any. So whenever I find one, I'm like, yeah, let's go. And sometimes Aaron will tag along, or I'll go by myself, depending on the situation. But, like, I went to the baby shower for my friend by myself because Aaron felt out of place among all those Mexicans. But she was in my wedding and she was my coworker, so I went. But, I mean, if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have gone. But it was a nice, well done, small party, nothing big, but it was, you know,
you were part of the people who matter, so you get to go, and it's
special
fun for you guys.
Special thing, and you know, if I wasn't invited, I probably wouldn't have. Obviously, I wouldn't have gone, but you know, when you get a special, not just an invitation in the mail, when you get a special, like, message from them saying, please come, it's not like you can't decline, you know, unless there's something serious that happened, you know. Some people, they get invitations in the mail and they just decline to go because they don't feel like it, but when you get personal message or phone call and you still don't go, that makes the other person feel bad. Because especially called you to invite you because you mean something to them. On the one hand, the publicizing of private moments could be a way of making the event feel more special, or of celebrating those moments with more loved ones that might otherwise be possible with a standalone party. On the other, this impulse is expensive, creating tension for guests who feel weary from expanding obligations and ambiguity surrounding gift-giving conventions. Because some people, they don't like going to a party without, like, having something to give. Because you can't just bring a card, a plain old card, and say, here, you know, I did my part. You have to put, like, some money in there, or, like, buy a gift of some sort, and give a gift. Because people will feel awkward if they're the only one who comes to the party, and they're, like, giftless. They don't have a gift to give, or maybe because of their circumstance, they may not have something nice to wear, so they're weary of going to the party, you know, so they just decline. And they just trudge along if it's the family member or someone they really know, because, you know, they don't want to be ostracized later on. So it can be expensive for guests because you have to spend money. You can't just go free, you know. Or maybe if it's a potluck, you have to bring something, and you don't want to bring a lame dish, so you have to bring something good enough that people will eat, you know. It's hard. It's hard because, you know, people can say, oh no, don't worry about it, but of course you feel guilty, so you have to do something.
That is the point of parties and celebrating something. You bring something to celebrate.
And yeah, private moments, people, no. Now with social media, people will broadcast it whether or not they have a party. They'll vlog and put their whole life on YouTube or what other social media they use, and they'll make all their private moments well known to everybody, regardless of whether they have a party or not. But some people, like, if they want something intimate, they won't always get everybody to come unless they make it into a big party. Like, you know, because people are more inclined to come when it's a big party versus like, oh, it's just a small event with a family and whatnot. Oh, I want to interact with said family, but if it's a big thing, then you know, oh, there'll be one person there that I can talk to. Or I'll just stop by, give my gift, whatever, and then be on my merry way, you know? I mean, like, when I went to the party, I saw some previous coworkers, and I just mingled with my friend who was pregnant, but that was about it, because I didn't speak Spanish or know anyone else, so I just sat around, and when the cake was cut, I said, okay, have a nice rest of your party, I'm going home now. So, yeah, but that's what people do, because they're like, go to a party and they don't know anyone, they're like wallflowers, they only know the host who invited them, and it's kind of awkward. They feel like wallflowers and they don't belong. But, you know. Lizzie Post of the Emily Post Institute, the self-proclaimed etiquette authority that for decades has maintained and evolved. The decorum governing American society stresses that non-traditional events such as gender reveal parties by definition are not a have to and thus don't come with a set etiquette. But it's hard to avoid the pressure of those once unconventional parties start to feel, well, conventional. The more you add these parties in until they become institutionalized, the more it creates anxiety about what's right and how much celebrating there should be for these events, Montemoro says. And like I said, for myself, I just watch other people have these parties, because I probably won't have any more aside from I won't have any more parties aside from maybe the baby shower when I do get pregnant, and then celebrating each year of my child. Because me, I don't even celebrate my birthday anymore. Last year I went out to dinner with my father-in-law and my husband and one of my husband's brothers and our sister-in-law, and that was the extent of it. My parents didn't even say, oh, we gotta go have dinner or go eat and do something. They couldn't care less. The year before that, I went to Vegas and nobody really knew my birthday. Me and Aaron celebrated, Stefanie came around, and we had good time at the pool area, and that was it, you know. I don't make a big deal of my birthdays anymore, you know. After a certain age, you're done. When I was 30, yay, I was 30. When I'm 40, I'll say, yay, I'm 40, but anything in between, not really interested.
Yeah.
Not really interested, neither is any of my family members, you know. If they feel like going out, we go out. If they don't, boo-hoo. It's only a tradition in Aaron's family for all the brothers to plan a dinner for their birthday, but that's about it. But nothing big. It just feels like another day to bond with each other, and that's about it.
And that's a good enough reason to have a get-together, not necessarily a party with a lot of people. Again, it's celebrating something that's significant to you with people who care and who care about you and you care about. You don't need to have what does the rest of the internet care about your birthday?
Yeah, because I was going to dinner with some of me and Aaron's friends, and then he happened to just mention to me, oh, it's my friend's girlfriend's birthday. And so I just brought her some wine, and that was it. We went to dinner. We never spoke of it again after that. You know, it was just the day we were supposed to hang out. I just realized it was her birthday, so I bought her some wine. We were able to all share it together, and that was it. We talked about other stuff. We didn't really talk about it being her birthday, so, you know. Not everybody likes to make a spectacle of it, but I like to be nice that if I'm already going to see someone, excuse my yawn, if I'm supposed to go already see someone and someone gives me another piece of information, I'll just quietly, like, give them a card and something, but that's about it. Because I want to be respectful that I was told it was their birthday, and I don't want to be like, I mean, if you hadn't told me, then I wouldn't have known, and that's fine. But when someone tells you, you gotta do the right thing and acknowledge that person's birthday or whatever they're celebrating, you know?
Yeah.
Complicating this tendency toward over-celebration is globalization. Many loved ones are living further apart than ever, and multicultural families have become more common. Yes, like my family, we all live overseas, so we just Skype or wish each other happy birthday on chat, or we talk over the phone, you know. It's just like my grandma's like 99, that's why it's a big reason to every year celebrate her birthday, because
you don't know.
That's what my family wants to do, and I get to see the pictures since I don't always get to make it down there, but you know, and they don't invite random people, they just say, okay, the Masakan and the Diwa family, come on down. And then we get like two jitney car fulls of family members. And the first time when she was 93 and we had this big party, and we've had it every year since, we know we have a big family where we didn't know how many would come because we thought everyone was RSVP, or at least people who had internet could like RSVP for all the other people who didn't. But no, we just ended up seeing two jitney fulls of people, and we're like, oh, we don't have enough food. So one of my cousins had to run out and buy more pancit and have for everybody to eat, because people would stay for the whole day, because it's a long journey, so people would stay there for the whole day and leave at night. So we needed food for lunch, and then they would eat an afternoon snack, and then they'd eat back for dinner. So now every year we know to plan for that, because we don't know who will come. It might be, you know, we don't know who will come. It might be a lot or less, but you know, if we have leftover food, we normally just share it around and give it to the people who the hungry people on the street. We give them some food if we have too much left over. Extra parties can serve as a way for the host to celebrate with folks who live far away and either can't attend the main event or have to travel long distances to do so. This is Catherine Clark, a senior editor at Off-Bride, a website that publishes unconventional wedding advice for women. And I understand you want to have another party to celebrate with them. For us, if people can't come and they want to come later, and my parents are available, we'll go out to dinner or have a meal here at our house. Or if they just want to take us out, we go visit them. And celebrate with them quietly. We don't make another party and say, okay, everybody who couldn't make it, now when you guys coming, let's all have another, you know? Because I'm not going to spend that much money. At least if we have it at our house, we'll just spend for the food that we're going to serve them. If they want to go out, maybe they'll be nice enough to pay, and then we'll just all have a meal and celebrate together. Because, you know, I didn't invite everybody, so people know, oh, congratulations, you got married, I couldn't make it, you know? But that's about it. They're not like, oh, well, we need to celebrate again, you know? They understand we celebrated once, and that's good enough for them.
I can see, being devil's advocate here, I can see that there's one advantage to having like second parties, and that's if there are a lot of people who matter, and like you said, if they can't all make it to the first one, it may be cheaper to just have the second party so that you can feed them all at once, and everybody can just, you know, the first half of this giant army can come in the first one, the second half of the army can come in for the second one, and then you don't have to go individual dinners. But that's, I imagine that's very rare, and there aren't a lot of people who have huge families that all that are almost guaranteed to get together for something like that. So one very rare instance argument for having extra parties, second parties.
Yeah, like I mentioned already, if you have enough people to have a second party, then great. But like some people, they don't even really care. They're just happy that you got married, they saw your videos and pictures, and they live vicariously like that. Like my cousin from the Philippines, she was unable to get a visa to come here, so she just lived vicariously through someone to her other sister who was streaming bits and pieces of the wedding to her, and she gets to see the wedding video and photos, and she's happy enough for that, you know, because it's not her fault she couldn't be here. And some other people, they just live vicariously through, like my aunts who didn't come, live vicariously through videos and photos. So that's as far as we can go, and then they'll just be happy to meet my husband in the future and be happy for us with whatever the future holds for us.
They can come to the next milestone party.
Yeah, and exactly, but if visa's an issue, then I don't really know if that will be a possibility, or health-wise is an issue. That's why we tried to go to them. Like my grandma, she couldn't make it, so we went to her. You end up with these far-flung guests who need to be entertained for longer during the weekend, or if it's hard for them to attend the main event, with these satellite celebrations to which you travel to them or they come to you. Clark says, having multiple celebrations for a wedding is also a way to incorporate different cultural traditions. Yes, I know people like, someone was like, I know a YouTuber whose name, Timothy De La Ghetto. He had an American wedding because his wife didn't have really any tradition, but then he himself is Thai, and his parents paid for and wanted him to have a Thai wedding with their Thai outfit and their Thai tradition. So he had two of them, and that's what it was. He paid for the first one, the parents paid for the second one, and everyone was happy because all cultures were honored and nobody was unacknowledged, you know, because that's all parents want. They'll be supportive of who you get married to, but they do want their traditions. Like my mom, she wanted the Catholic wedding. She didn't care how the reception went down. She just wanted a Catholic wedding in the church, and that's what we had, you know. And satellite celebrations, now you have like Skype and stuff, and you can dial someone in and they can see the wedding firsthand without even being there. And you can do a live record and they can just watch the whole thing unfold from the comfort of their home if they can't make it, you know? So you don't even have to fly them out here, or you can go there to visit them, of course, but for them to be participating and actually see the whole thing firsthand, not waiting for the video, then there are those ways that you can do it. Or if they want to send a message, you can do it live, and they can do a live message if they don't want to do a pre-recorded one. So there's so many ways for everyone to be present in any celebration that you have.
Technology is a wonderful thing.
Having multiple celebrations for a wedding is also a way to incorporate new traditions. Can also address a growing desire among couples to have co-ed live event celebrations. A post-wedding couple shower, for example, can supplement pre-wedding gender-segregated bachelor and bachelorette parties. And as Americans are marrying and having kids later in life, many of them are more independent by the time these milestones come around, financially and otherwise. They may feel less beholden to the desires of their more traditional relatives. For example, perhaps a couple who will choose to have a very small wedding and tack on a post-wedding reception open to an extended list of loved ones. Yeah, some people can't afford to have a lavish wedding. They'll just have it like on the beach or let's say Vegas. Let's say Vegas because you go to get married. And then later on, they will have a lavish wedding. Like my big brother in Romania, he had one big wedding before that we attended, but then he got divorced from her, and he got remarried to another girl whom he has a kid with now, and he's very happy. But he had just immediate family over there for their small wedding ceremony at the courthouse, and he says, who knows, maybe next year or the year after we'll have a big wedding, because they're not churchy people, so they don't really care about doing another ceremony at the church. So they said maybe we'll have another reception big party after a year or so if we feel like it, but it's like not really necessary, because I already did it once and I don't feel like it's necessary to spend it a second time, and you just do it with family so they can see you're happy and got married a second time and it's all well. And then extended family come along. They celebrate your life that you have with your wife, with the kid, and then that's about it. I mean, I don't know. If you really want to gather people in the restaurant again and celebrate something, great. If not, it's not really necessary. As an American, that was the logic of Allison Fitzpatrick and her husband, who got married the past April to an intimate ceremony attended by only a handful of immediate family members. The couple, both in their mid-30s, decided to have a post-wedding reception in June, and in an effort to celebrate with roughly 50 extended family members and friends, without the pressure attached to a traditional wedding. There is definitely a lot of pressure in the wedding community to have a unique reception, to personalize everything, says Fitzpatrick, who lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. When it came to my reception, I was honestly just like, I want to eat good food, hang out with my friends, have good drinks. I don't want to be worrying about whether my floral arrangement was exactly right or that kind of thing. She describes her post-wedding party as a family reunion meets celebration. And for my wedding, we had people who weren't here for all the preparation. They're from everywhere. But lucky enough, what a coincidence that everybody in the wedding party had similar or almost the same colors to their wedding dress, to their wedding attire. So I was like stunned, because I said, do the best you can. And they all did the best they can, but lo and behold, everyone matched for the most part. And you see, that's how you do it. You come together. We didn't have any expectations of the wedding reception and the flowers. My aunt strung together what she thought would be nice, and I only cared about what my wedding bouquet would be. But the rest of the flowers, I'm like, something has to be there. I had an idea of what I wanted, but it wasn't going to work, because my mom made it work, because she wanted all those orchids. But I wanted it a different way, but then it was going to be more expensive the way I wanted it, so we found another way to have it, and everybody got what they wanted from the wedding, and everybody was happy. But I mean, we would have compromised if it couldn't be done a certain way, Nobody got mad at me how I chose my wedding cake. My aunt and my mom were just surprised how it turned out, and I loved it. I still have yet to thank them though. Anyway, well, I did send an email of thank you right away. So yeah, and I loved how it turned out, and nobody was mad that they didn't like how it turned out. Because if you don't like it later on, then get mad later on. But I mean, excuse me, When my when my aunt tasted how good the food was, she couldn't argue. She couldn't argue because that steak was awesome.
It was.
So once in a lifetime you get to go eat in a bougie country club unless you have that much money to be a member there. So you cherish those moments. Like they said here, it's about good food, friends, and good drinks. And we invited all the friends. I know there's a few people you leave out, and it's hard when you know a lot of people and who should be invited. But for the most part, all my dad's friends got invited. All our close friends got invited who've known me since the day I was born. So it worked out. And my mom's wedding, she wanted to have a big one for me because she didn't have one. She just had a reception in her house. So that's why she relished to have a big one for my wedding, so she could live vicariously through me. But you know, she's still happy how hers went in the house. And if I couldn't, and like me and Aaron said, if we didn't have the good graces of my mother, we would have had a small wedding and a small reception in a restaurant somewhere. You know, It wouldn't have been as big and lavish.
But it still would have happened, and it would have been celebrated because it's an important event that you do celebrate.
Right.
You don't have to over-celebrate it.
Right. And for the family who can't make it, they're just happy that you're getting married and moving on with your life, you know, and they just want the best for you. And they hope that, you know, it ends up good forever and not bad. But still, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, factors driving this phenomenon in social media, these parties wouldn't be so popular if it weren't for the exposure they got on platforms like Facebook and Instagram, where others see them and perhaps then feel inclined to throw their own. Social media can amplify forces such as an ego, peer pressure, and FOMO. Perhaps Americans, young adults, are celebrating so much because they're accustomed to packaging the events in their life into narratives for their virtual networks. And I already touched base on that. I already talked about that and said people want to put it up on social media, you know, and for everyone to see. Social media has unleashed an era of disclosure and access, transforming the intimate phases of pregnancy into public knowledge. The gender reveal marks one of the more pivotal points in public process, Geisler wrote in her 2007 study. Because if you're like a vlogger and you post yourself on social media, of course, everyone will want to know what's happening in your life step by step. So if you give birth, they'll want to see that. If you do whatever. But, you know, I would just show the picture of my baby and say, here, my baby's born now. I'm not going to video the whole birth and be like, okay. I mean, I don't know why people video births, because I don't want to watch, when I have a kid, I don't want to re-watch it coming out of me, you know. My mom never asked hers to be videotaped. You know, well, she had a C-section, so that wouldn't even be, the videotape wouldn't even be allowed in there. Yeah. I don't think. But natural births, they allow whatever you want to do. I don't know about special C-sections. They'd be in the operating room for that. I don't know what the rules are for that. For the most part, I'm not going to rewatch a video of my kid coming out of me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you've got the kid. That's reminder enough that it came out of you.
So for people who are like, want to video this whole moment, I really don't understand, you know. Just be there, hold your wife's hand, and just pray that the kid comes out normal and you don't have to worry about complications. My heart goes out to all those parents because it's tough. Well, kids with abnormalities. All kids are normal. I know. You're going to get mad at me for saying abnormalities. But for all the kids who have difficulties in one way or another, my heart goes out to all the parents who are still taking care of their kids and never giving up. My heart goes out to you guys, and you guys are great parents. Social media has unleashed an era of disclosure of access and transforming the intimate phases of pregnancy into, the visibility of such parties online can also make the celebration of life events seem like a game, in terms of who's going to win the most social media currency, who's going to gain all the likes, the views, the video sharing numbers. Guys, Lear told me, there's a consumerist element to those parties, not just in how they are broadcasted to be consumed online, but in the expenses they create for both hosts and guests. Of course, it's not cheap to have any sort of party, because even when you provide food for people, you're already spending at least $100 for 20 or so guests. That's already a given, you know. So it's not cheap. And for those of you who want to have a party in spite of your lack of finances, I mean, you guys gotta rethink your priorities, in my opinion, because save for the bigger parties in life. The smaller parties, just have an intimate time with your family, you know? Because when your family, you each can contribute to the table, put a pot of money in the middle, and then you'll make the meal happen or pay the restaurant, whatever, you know? So that's not a big deal. Because, I mean, going out for like 2 drinks with some friends, each of you pays for your own drinks, it's not that much. But if you want to make a big wahoo about it and spend all this money,
is the event
know what you're getting yourself into, not say later, okay, let's figure out how to pay this off now.
Yeah, decide that the event is worth spending the money on.
There's a consumerist element to these parties, not just in how they are broadcast to be consumed online, but in the expense they create for both hosts and guests. While presents might not be expected at gender reveals or pet birthday parties, attendees might bring them anyway to avoid showing up empty-handed. Yeah, because people, they don't just want to give a card, they always want to bring something. In my opinion, like, we had a party for myself. It was called Dia de Soltera. It was like celebrating my last day of being single. But my mom invited some of her friends, not a lot. And we had some food there, but nobody brought any gifts or anything. Because it wasn't necessary. I mean, you don't need to bring any gifts to certain parties. If you want to bring a card or something, fine. Or bring some food or some drinks to contribute, because drinks or alcohol, they can be consumed at a later date for another party, or if you just want to drink alone at home. But I mean, you can do that, but I mean, if you just bring presents that you think will be useful to them, great. But if you bring gifts that are not useful, for the most part, they're just going to re-gift it or really not use it. And I'm not saying that I don't enjoy gifts that people give me, but there are some things like I don't have space to collect all types of mugs, so I don't need another mug. I'll just fill it with stuff, wrap it, and give it to another person as a gift. And if they have too many mugs, they can re-gift it further on again. And I had a set of perfume that I knew I was not going to use, or who knows when I'll get to it, so I gifted it on and I moved along. And if the person wants to open it and use it, great. If not, gift it right along. Yeah. Because we told people not to give us gifts, but they gave us, and I have way too many wine glasses, way too many cocktail glasses to even know what to do with it. Because my parents already have their own sets that we share. And how much alcohol do we drink in our life? How much cocktails do we make in our life? You know, how much coffee? My husband doesn't even drink coffee or tea, so he doesn't even use his Mr. Right coffee mug. Of course, I drink tea every night, so I use the Mrs. Always Right coffee mug. But you know, how many do you need, seriously? unless you have a place to set up your collection.
And I think that another thing about this, people who don't want to show up empty-handed, is because it doesn't feel right to show up to something that you know your hosts are pouring their time, their energy, their money into it, and you come out and you just take. Because people who care are not naturally just takers, and that's why they want to bring you something. They want to bring something to contribute.
But bring something, useful. Because if you've already been to their house and you've seen how many cups they have, don't bring them another cup. If you bring them another bottle of wine, that's fine, because they'll eventually drink it. Or they can re-gift it to someone else. But, but that's what I say. Bring a practical gift. If you don't know them and you're a random person just coming, that's fine. You don't know what's in their house. But if you already know what's in their house because you go there often, then you know exactly what kind of gift to give them. Don't just give them another, whatever that they don't need.
No, but this was for events like they're not expecting gifts, but people want to bring a gift anyway.
Yeah, then
you don't want to go take. You don't want to be
exactly. That's why I said bring something useful. You know what's in their house if you've already been there.
True. If they're inviting you to your dog's birthday, I guess you know what's there.
If you're going to a dog's birthday, then bring a bag of treats because the dog will eat those, and then they won't clutter the house anymore. Something like that, or bring a bottle of wine. It will get drank, and then it won't clutter the house anymore. But social media also destination bachelorette parties and wedding showers can feel like obligatory, unreasonable additional expenditures for guests. Now that we're starting to spread those things through social media, it really becomes a consumerist phenomenon, Geisler says. And yes, some people, I know someone who has to invite certain people to their wedding, but he's like, I might just make it a destination wedding so that I'm not forced to have to bring everybody, because I know some people can't. So then they don't have to worry about that. Because some people, they can't afford to fly out, and you can't force them to, but having a destination wedding helps you have a smaller, more intimate wedding venue, because you know the people who are going to spend and fly to your wedding versus the people who you have to invite, but won't come because of that reason, Because when you're a popular person, like an ex-mayor, like my godsister's father was, she had over 200 people, I think 200 to 500 people at her wedding, but not because she knows all of them, it's because her father was obligated to invite them because of his status. Whether they came or not, because they had to come from here to Los Angeles, whether they came or not, was on their own accord, but he still had to acknowledge an invite to them. And when it makes it a destination wedding, it's easier for you to have less people that will come versus if you actually have it in-house. Or you have family elsewhere. Like if I was going to marry my ex-fiance, I would have done it in the Philippines. And half the people here won't be able to come. And I don't mind. Be a small wedding there, boom, it's just totally fine. I don't care how many people show up. I'm just happy to be married, have a husband, and be able to move forward in my life, So how big or small it is doesn't entail how better you will survive it in the future.
How important the event is either, yeah.
Yeah. If you've met 1,000 people and later you have to tell those 1,000 people, oh well, I'm divorced now.
Thanks for coming to the thing that ended up breaking.
Yeah. Social media may also be fueling this trend in a subtler, more roundabout way. When so much socializing happens online, it may be that any excuse to gather loved ones under a single roof is more appealing than ever. Yeah, well, you can do the conventional celebrating like Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's you don't have to invite people for that. family knows they can go to each other's house. You just say, okay, we're hosting this year. Whoever wants to come, come. I'm not counting. I'm not counting, you know. Just pass on by and so be it, you know. I mean, and they don't even talk about those because those are ones that are not really planned. It's just family, and then you invite like a friend or two who don't have anywhere to go for the holiday. We invite them over, and they enjoy the holiday with us, and that's that. And the time of life when these milestones tend to accrete is also a time for great family and work responsibilities, as well as the moving from place to place, and young adults may find themselves with less time for their friends. When your peers' free time seems ever shrinking, inviting friends over to hang out just because can feel like an imposition. Yeah, nowadays we're so busy, it's hard to find time, but me, I forced myself and Aaron to find time for us to hang out with our friends. And they even forgot to mention that people do housewarming parties when they move into a new house or a new apartment. They invite a few people and have housewarming, and people bring things that people might need. But it's easy. People just follow the registry. Then you buy exactly what they need and don't buy anything more than they need. Or just give them like a Visa gift card for like $25. And then they can buy what they need, and then their house won't get cluttered with unwanted items. Because one day when my parents, something happens to them, I'm going to revamp everything, reassess everything in this house, and we'll only have exactly what we need, nothing more, nothing less, you know. But I'm trying not to give things away. I'm trying to sell them and make like money out of it. But it's hard because I sell like maybe two or three items a year. It's kind of sad. 4 at the most. So it's kind of hard, but I'm not giving up. I really don't want to give nice things away for free, you know.
Yeah, there does come a point when if you just need to get rid of it, then you're just going to have to get rid of it.
Well, yeah, that depends. But I have a lot still sitting there that I want to give away. Anyone need a LuLaRoe extra small azure skirt? I have one for whatever you're willing to pay for it. I have one to give. So you can message me and let me know if you're interested. All my social media links will be down below. But asking,
Yes.
and the time of,
Yeah, you were there.
but asking everyone to get together might feel easier if you have a reason. A new child, a marriage, even a divorce. When there's an excuse to get everyone together, then you kind of have a jump on it, says Clark of Offbeat Bride. Otherwise, you're just scrolling, looking at everyone's baby pictures from your living room, and that can get very sad. And like I said before, I tell Aaron, oh, we need to get together with this and this people, and we make it happen. So we'll hang out with more people next month, and some more in February, and then we hang out with them like once or twice a year, and then we get to see them, because I make a point of it, because I don't have a lot of friends, so I try to make a regular of it to keep in touch with them and just go out, sit, talk, have a meal, and that's it, you know. And if you just have a lot of friends, period, you have to make a big party out of things just for everyone to come, then I understand. It's a busy world for everybody. But think about it this way. Are they even busy 24/7 and on the weekend? Because if they don't have any kids or anybody to take care of, it's just their way of saying, I'm too tired and I just want to stay home and rest. And then I'm like, I'll come over to your house, we'll have a cup of tea and watch a movie. I want to see you. But me and Stefanie, of course, I'm always busy, but I always made time once a month to go see her when she was living around here. We just hung out, maybe even if it was just for an hour. It's no big deal. We had a nice meal, and then we'd go about our separate ways and do whatever we got to do, you know. But you just gotta make it happen. And I guess the only way that people are forced to go see people are with these big events that are organized, and it's such a sad It's such a sad thing, but you know, if that's what it is, that's what it is. You know? But people need to look at friendships and hanging out with people on a different level, and not just because it's a party. You know? But mostly because even my dad, he sees some friends because he bikes to their place, not just because it's a party. You don't have to see everybody you know on a regular basis, but the people that you are closer to. And he bikes there, he sees them, does something with them, and then goes back home. It's easy. Then see with my mom, she goes out to have a meal with some people that she's friends with every now and again, and then that keeps the friendships alive, and you don't need to make a big party just to have them all around unless you really feel like it, because she didn't force me to have a bridal shower. So I said, what's it going to be for? For you to spend more money organizing here at the house, and people will bring me gifts that I'll have to re-gift. You know, how many sets of china do I need? How many fruit bowls do I need? How many wine glasses and drink glasses do I need? You know?
Yeah.
So this concludes our video for tonight, and we'll see you again next week. Sunday it'll probably be me by myself, but the following week probably be me and Stefanie doing another video together from the Skypes. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We have all our links down below, my social media, and she has her links to her medias down below where you can see all her work and things that she's been doing, and she can tell you about her latest project.
Today I started working on a beret. I got this much done and I'm almost out of yarn, so I've got to redo some of it, and it's modeled off of a regular beret, which you can kind of see. It's black and it's backlit and it looks like a mushroom. So, more work to be done.
And you can check
this one also you can't really see, but this is wool. This is the undershirt that I posted on one of my recent updates for Silicon Valley Comic Con. It's one of the projects I was doing in between real work projects, because it's cold in Nevada in the early mornings when I'm going out to clean pools. So I've got my 3 layers. I've got my t-shirt under this, I've got this, and then I've got my long sleeve shirt to cover from the sun, because the sun still shines and it can still burn you in 10 minutes in the winter.
So if you want to check out our other work below, it will be listed on her social media down below, and you can find her in the upcoming San Diego and San Jose Comic Con. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye-bye, we're out.